Okay, so here's another recording. I haven't made one in a minute. I wanted to talk about mostly how I've been feeling, what I've been doing, the current situations that have been arising as far as like worldly things. I just wanted to give my 2 cents and generally just talk about how, what I've been thinking about lately and how I've been feeling. So tomorrow's Valentine's Day, and me and my guy, we're possibly gonna go out to eat somewhere. Tomorrow's going to be cloudy, so it's not gonna be sunny. The weather here has been on and off. Like, it'll be cloudy one day and then sunny the other day and then cloudy the next day and then sunny the other day. So it's kind of been, the weather's been irregular for sure. But so yeah, as far as how I've been feeling spiritually and what I've been thinking spiritually, I've been watching a lot of these decoding videos on YouTube. Just trying to get my head around certain things, like especially like what these religious people talk about, like, they'll say that they're of a specific faith and all of that. I'm spiritual. I'm not heavily religious, but it's interesting. It's interesting to hear these people's points on what they can decode by themselves. It's interesting to listen to what these people have to say about, for say, like decoding the Super Bowl and like what they think it means and everything. So I've kind of been into that. What else? So as far as what I've been feeling spiritually, like, it's a lot of isolation. Like, I've been feeling a lot of isolation, and it's not like, it's not like I don't have people to talk to, because I always have people to talk to. It's just when you're a particular individual who has a spiritual storyline going on, like, it's like you spend time thinking a lot, especially at night, and you spend a lot of time thinking, like, how the storyline will be put together, how the storyline will be different from what you see on TV, the movies and all of that. Like, you want to give a different creative input on on what's going on within the storyline, the spiritual storyline. And I feel like when I think about these things and when I do this, like, there's a lot of a feeling of isolation almost, because I mean, you can tell people about, what you're thinking about spiritually and creatively, but it doesn't mean that they want to be included within your imagination and all of that, because I'm the type of person who has a very creative mind, who has a very vivid and imaginary mindset. So a lot of the time I am withdrawn, and I go into my own world a lot. And I hope other people who can relate to themselves as being star seeds can understand this kind of mindset, because I mean, I don't know, it's almost like before this whole COVID-19 thing happened, I was by myself within this thing anyway, but I feel like now it's a lot worse. Or it's, by now I just feel like I'm more in this thing by myself now that this thing has happened with the coronavirus and everything. And if I can give you guys a visual, it's almost like how you watch that that new Joker movie, how he imagines certain things within his mind, and also the movie Sucker Punch with that young girl named Baby Doll. Like, she imagines certain things, and it's that those two characters in the movie, like, I can really relate to, because visually they're imagining like what they want their storyline to be like, like what they really want to see, instead of what they have to see, in reality. And that's truly what it's like for me right now. And I have to say that this is a very, very lonely path. It's a very lonely road for me. And I can share thoughts and ideas with a person, but like, I don't know, it's just almost like you want to keep your storyline going with these specific characters that you see in your head, or that you want to keep seeing in your head. And and I right now I'm here in the house somewhat mostly all of the time. I go out with my boyfriend and stuff to places, but I'm not really interacting with other people yet. I'm not really interacting with other people in the outside world yet. But I just wanted to tell you guys what it's like for a person like me to go through, like, to go through these certain different pole shifts of my own inside my head. because I constantly keep giving myself new spiritual names. I constantly keep giving myself new perspectives on what it's like for me and these characters that are in the storyline. You know, and oftentimes I will do talk to myself. Oftentimes I will portray myself as being a character in the story. And then I'll also portray like the other characters, like I'll voice out their I'll voice out their thoughts and stuff, and like I'll pretend like they're talking to me. And then I'll, and I would talk back to them as a certain character, in a sequence. And this is all done spiritually. I don't really know what else to say. So yeah, I just have to say that when, when I do this, I am my own individual person, but when I'm engaged in the spiritual storyline, it really does feel like my soul is isolated from the rest of reality, if that makes sense. Of this reality, like, and of course, like, I have my guy, and I have other people I can talk to, I have my family I can talk to, but at the same time, it's difficult for me to relate to the basic mundane goings on of this earthly reality. I can't really seem to put myself in in this reality's storyline, or this reality's timeline, I guess. So, with that being said, I just put myself, I just put myself in a sequence, or an imaginary reality with these certain characters that I happen to talk to in my imagination, or in my head. And this happens like every day for me. People can say that's weird and everything, but I mean, it's just kind of like how I cope, and also how I have some kind of self-reassurance that I enjoy being within my spiritual storyline, with these characters. Like, I actually do really enjoy it. Like, it makes me happy in a sense. But sometimes I think like when I'm not thinking about the storyline at all, when I'm just not thinking about it, like, sometimes I think, well, why am I doing this? I should just stop freaking doing it. Because I know it's all imaginary, and I know it's all in my head. So it's just like, sometimes I just think like, well, why am I even doing this in the first place? And sometimes I think, well, You know, I should be more focused on this reality, but but deep, deep, deep inside my heart, I really do feel like this reality is a de facto reality, and I have no place in it. Like, I just don't, I just feel like, I really feel like I don't belong in this reality to a certain extent, but I know that I have to get out there on my own. I have to put myself out there and interact with other human beings. Otherwise I'll just be like this weirdo, you know? This weirdo that can't talk to other people. Like, she's always inside of her head. She's always spaced out. I'm spaced out. I'm just this freaking woman who thinks about random sequences and storylines, and this woman just lives inside of her head most of the time. And I don't know if that's healthy, like, but now that I'm on here explaining it, like, this is truly how I feel right now. And I know I have to try and put some forth. I know I have to try and put forth some kind of effort to being in this, coronavirus reality now. I have to try and put myself forth, because even as a young girl, like, I always felt different. I always felt like I wasn't, as a young girl, I always felt like being in a group of other individuals, like, what it wasn't necessary, or because I always felt differently about where I stood with other people. Like, I've always felt like that, and it's not like I didn't want to make friends. I did. It's just, my way of thinking was just so different, like, and I just didn't know how to go about it. Like, I didn't really know how to tell people, like, how I was really feeling, because, like, overall I just felt like, well, these people will not understand me, like, and that's how I felt. And I always was withdrawn. I always was mainly by myself, but I did play with the other kids. When I was young, I did play with the other kids, and I had fun, but it's just like my mindset and how I thought was just, like, totally different. It was just like, I don't know. It was just different. And I just didn't know how the others would react to me, and, like, I just thought that if I told them that what I was thinking, they wouldn't care, And that's how I feel now as an adult woman. Like, I feel like if I tell somebody at the job or something, like what I was really feeling, like they would just disregard it and they wouldn't care about it, you know. And then I would feel some type of way about it. So that's why I just kind of keep my thoughts to myself. But it was crazy, like the other night I went to take my dog out to go to the bathroom, and I looked at my phone and the time was 4:44, and I went to take my dog out to go to the bathroom outside in the backyard, and I saw this group of lights just like streaking across the sky, and I was like, wow, like what is that? Like, I don't know, it's just so random. Like, I went outside and I looked up at the sky, and they were like all of these lights just like in a group, like following each other like across the sky. And it baffled me. Like, I've never seen anything like that before. And I'm like, wow, what is that? Like I don't know, as a person, like, you think like, wow, what could that be? Like, it's just so, like, the sight was just like amazing to behold, and like it was just way different from what I usually see. Like, I usually see like, one bright light across the sky, but like this was just like a group of them, like a group of lights just like going across the sky, like 4 o'clock in the morning. It was still dark, and I just wish I could have recorded it. I didn't have my phone, but yeah, it was just so weird. It was freaking, like, I've never seen anything like that before. And I've had a lot of supernatural stuff happen to me, quite frequently, actually. Like, and it's crazy because, like, I'll see things online, like what people post on the internet, like as far as videos, and like once they say something, like I'll automatically think, well, I was thinking that, like, not like just not too long ago. Or I'll see like a word, or like a title of something, and like I'll base it on like what I see, like what I've seen in like a movie or something. I'm like, wow, like I was just thinking that. Like, I was just thinking of that exact thing, and then like I'll just like correlate, like I'll correlate to like the thing that had just happened, that was unexplained to me, like something totally unexplained, like would have happened, or did happen, and then the next day, like I don't know, like that trigger word will just come in my head. I'm like, well, what the heck? I was just freaking thinking about that, or that just came up not too long ago, like yesterday. So like a lot of these similarities, a lot of these weird similarities have been popping up for me like crazy. And I don't know if that's because of the shift or what, but like I've actually experienced so much supernatural stuff lately that I just don't know how to like put my mind around it, because it might just be like everything falling into place, Like, I don't know, like, we can have all these worldly things, like, happen. We can have all these worldly things happen, but we can't forget that our own personal and spiritual lives, like, that matters too. Because if you're seeing things and hearing things that, you know, sort of like you're putting the puzzle pieces together, but all of this chaotic and worldly stuff is still going on, like, you shouldn't worry, because I think that's supposed to happen. I think that's supposed to happen. So, like, just, don't be alarmed, because if you're a real spiritual person who's awakened to these kind of things, then, like, you're gonna see a lot of similarities that'll pop up, all around you, and that's just you adjusting to the shift, so yeah, I'm gonna end it here. I hope you guys found this recording interesting, and I'll talk to you in another one here pretty soon. Alright, thanks for listening, and have a good night. Goodbye.